It's confusing.
Mr. Inslee, you're apparently running for governor in the 2012 election. You purchased the website addresses and were interviewed about running earlier in the year. Now that you're running for re-election to Congress, you've refused to acknowledge your intention to run for governor. You've ducked the question at forums. And both the Seattle Times and Everett Herald asked you directly if you're running, but you ducked that too. I think the voters deserve to know if you're running for governor, because I don't think we can afford a part-time congressman. Running for statewide office like governor is a huge commitment in terms of time and money. You'll need to raise about $8 million, I'm told. That works out to be about $340,000 every month starting in November. That's a lot of fundraisers, that's a lot of travel. My question is, will you guarantee tonight that you will not run for governor in the next election? And if you will not guarantee that to the folks here, will you pledge that you will refuse your $175,000 a year congressional salary during the next 2 years, because taxpayers shouldn't have to fund your living expenses while you run for governor?
We've only been here 5 minutes, but I think we've already kind of passed the threshold. You know, my opponent takes particular enjoyment in calling me a professional politician, and he says that with a certain lust for insulting me in that regard. But he is right in one way and he was wrong in another way. He is right in that I have acted professionally to try to advance the causes of our constituents. No, it wasn't. I've never been a part-time anything, and everything I've done in my life, from being a prosecuting attorney to driving a bulldozer to driving a truck, I have always given every single fiber of my being, and I will continue to do this in any honor that you bestow on me in any office. And I'll tell you, that is why the Seattle Times endorsed me and called me an independent for this district. It is why I was successful in being the only member of Congress that has been found a way to pass an amendment to prevent the Airbus company from stealing tens of thousands of jobs from the Boeing families.
Answer the
And I
question. Answer the question.
Tyler, would you like to put my time back on the clock there in this interruption? My answer is that I will do a completely effective job for you in any honor that you bestow upon me. And I've always done that and will always continue to do so. And you know, in doing that, it's taken a little moral courage to do that. I'll give you an example. When the bank bailout came up, when President Bush suggested that we put up another $700 billion in a bank bailout, I wasn't thinking of political office or what was popular. I did what was right in voting against that. And I will continue to do that as long as I represent you. Let me mention something that is unfinished in work that I intend to work on if you bestow this office on me again. I intend to be the most active, the most creative, and the most dynamic leader to adopt a clean energy future for this country. And we have not finished this in this regard. And this election represents a contrast between someone who wants to go backwards, who isn't willing to face global warming, who isn't willing to deal
Answer the question.
who is not willing
Answer the question.
Talk about the issues, you idiots.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you, I understand that everyone is charged and feelings run high, but I would like to emphasize the fact that we're here for a civil discourse, and I'd appreciate you remembering. Thank you.
The question that is relevant in this discussion is whether I will be a fully committed congressman for you. I will tell you, as a person who has cast many votes, that has taken courage, gumption, and independence, I have been always there for you, and I intend to always be for you in any circumstances. That's my answer.
Next
question, Governor Inslee.
Moving along.
Yes, you do.
So, I am the last guy in the world that wants to quote Patty Murray. But I didn't hear an answer there.
Duh.
You know, it's pretty clear Mr. Inslee's running for governor. The next 2 years are going to be critical for our country. We have a Congress that has to deal with some really, really big issues. And we can't afford to have a part-time congressman who's going to be in the minority party trying to represent us in Washington, D.C.